You know, there's something they don't tell you about getting older. The older you get, the more you realize how precious your time really is. And sometimes that means looking around at the people in your life and asking yourself, do these relationships still bring me joy, or do they feel more like obligations? Maybe you've noticed it already, the way some friendships that used to feel easy now feel exhausting. The phone calls that drain you instead of lifting you up. The gatherings you attend out of habit, not because you truly want to be there. And here's the thing, that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay. It's a sign of wisdom, because after 70, you've earned the right to be selective. You've earned the right to embrace your own company, and even prefer it. Now, I know that might sound surprising. We've been told our whole lives that friends are essential, that loneliness is something to fear. But what if I told you that being alone doesn't have to mean being lonely? What if I told you that solitude can actually be one of the greatest gifts of this chapter of your life? Let's talk about why. First, you've already done the work. Think about it. How many years have you spent showing up for others, attending events you didn't care about, listening to conversations that didn't interest you, bending over backward to keep people happy? By now, you've paid your dues. You've nurtured relationships, you've been a good friend, a good neighbor, a good listener, and if you're at a point where you'd rather spend a quiet afternoon with a book or a hobby than make small talk over coffee, that's not selfish. That's freedom. Second, solitude gives you space to rediscover yourself. Remember when you were younger and you had passions or curiosities that got pushed aside for the sake of keeping up with everyone else's expectations? Now's the time to revisit those. Maybe it's painting, or gardening, or finally writing that memoir. Maybe it's just sitting on the porch with your thoughts, enjoying the silence. When you're not constantly adjusting to other people's energy, you get to reconnect with your own. And that's where some of the best moments happen. And third, not all friendships age well. This one might sting a little, but it's true. Some friendships are built on shared circumstances, raising kids together, working the same job, living in the same neighborhood. But when those circumstances change, the friendship might not hold the same meaning. And that's okay. Holding on to a friendship out of nostalgia or guilt doesn't serve either of you. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself and for them is to let it go gracefully. Now, I'm not saying you should shut everyone out. If you have friends who truly light you up, who make you feel understood and valued, cherish them. But if you've been feeling like your social circle is full of people who take more than they give, or conversations that leave you feeling emptier than before, it might be time to ask yourself what you really want these years to look like. Because here's the secret. After 70, you get to define what a fulfilling life means to you. And for many of us, that means less noise and more peace. So let's keep going and talk about a few more reasons why embracing your own company might just be the best decision you make. You know, there's a certain magic that happens when you give yourself permission to enjoy your own company. It's like rediscovering an old friend, one who's been waiting patiently all these years while you were busy tending to everyone else. That friend, of course, is you. And after 7 decades of living, isn't it about time you two got properly acquainted? Let me share something that might surprise you. Studies actually show that people in their 70s and beyond often report higher life satisfaction when they focus on quality rather than quantity in their relationships. This leads me to our fourth reason. Your energy is precious. Spend it wisely. Remember when you could stay out until midnight and still feel fresh the next morning? Those days might be behind us, and that's okay. What's not okay is wasting what energy you do have on people who don't appreciate it. Every lunch date, every phone call, every visit, these all cost energy. And at this stage of life, you're the CEO of your energy budget. Wouldn't you rather invest it in activities that truly light you up? Fifth reason, solitude sparks creativity. Think about some of history's greatest artists, writers, and thinkers. Many did their best work alone. There's something about quiet moments that allows our minds to wander, to imagine, to create. Maybe you've always wanted to try watercolor painting, or perhaps there's a novel you've been meaning to read for years. When you're not constantly coordinating schedules or making conversation, you'd be amazed at what you can accomplish, or simply enjoy, on your own terms. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, But what about loneliness? That brings me to our sixth point. Loneliness and being alone are not the same thing. In fact, some of the loneliest people are surrounded by others every day. True contentment comes from within. When you cultivate a rich inner life through reading, hobbies, or simply sitting with your thoughts, you'll find you're never really alone. You're in the company of someone who truly gets you, yourself. Here's something beautiful I've noticed about people who embrace this stage of life. They develop a quiet confidence that's incredibly attractive. They're not desperate for company, so when they do choose to socialize, it's meaningful. They've learned the difference between being needed and being valued, and that makes all the difference. You might find, as many do, that when you stop chasing friendships out of obligation, something interesting happens. The right people, those who genuinely appreciate you, tend to stick around, and the relationships that remain become all the more precious because they're chosen, not forced. But here's the most important thing to remember. This is your life, your golden years. However you choose to spend them, whether surrounded by loved ones or perfectly content in your own company, is valid. The cultural obsession with constant socialization doesn't have to be your reality. After all, you've earned the right to define happiness on your own terms. Now, let's explore how this shift in perspective can actually open doors to unexpected joys. You know, there's a beautiful freedom that comes with this chapter of life, a freedom our younger selves could never quite imagine. It's like finally being handed the remote control after decades of everyone else choosing the channel. And here's the wonderful truth. When you embrace your own company, you're not closing doors. You're opening yourself up to the most authentic version of your life. Let me share a secret I've learned from countless vibrant seniors. The happiest people aren't those with the most friends, but those most at peace with themselves. Think about the women who travel solo, the men who spend hours happily tinkering in their workshops, the couples who've learned to enjoy comfortable silences. They've discovered something precious. That fulfillment comes from within. Here's something remarkable that happens when you stop worrying about maintaining friendships out of obligation. You become more present in every moment. No more mentally calculating how long you need to stay at a gathering. No more forcing conversation when you'd rather be quiet. Instead, you get to savor your morning coffee exactly how you like it. You can lose yourself in a hobby without watching the clock. Every day becomes yours to design. Now, I want to address something important. Some well-meaning people might say, "Don't you get lonely?" But here's what they don't understand. There's a world of difference between isolation and intentional solitude. Isolation hurts, but chosen solitude, that heals, that restores. That allows you to hear your own thoughts after years of noise. If you take nothing else from this video, remember this. Your worth isn't measured by your social calendar. Some of your most profound moments will happen when it's just you, your thoughts, and perhaps a beautiful sunset. These quiet years can become your most creative, your most reflective, your most peaceful. So here's my challenge to you. Try spending 1 week being completely selfish with your time. Not in a cruel way, but in a way that honors your needs first. Say no to anything that feels like an obligation. Say yes to whatever sparks joy, even if it's just sitting in the garden with a good book. Notice how it feels. My guess, you'll discover parts of yourself you forgot existed. Before we go, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you found unexpected joys in your own company? What activities light you up when it's just you? Your story might inspire someone else to give themselves permission to embrace this beautiful independence. If this resonated with you, hit that like button. It helps others find this message. And if you're ready to design your golden years on your own terms, consider subscribing. We're all about celebrating this incredible chapter of life. Remember, the best company you'll ever keep is the person you've become after all these years. Here's to your next great adventure, whatever form it takes. Until next time, be unapologetically, wonderfully you. Don't forget to subscribe to keep the circle growing.